Let's take a moment and recall how we find out the slope of a line. There are several methods we've learned for finding the slope of a line, and we can use any of them depending on the situation that we're in. If we're given the graph of a line, in order to find the slope of that line, first we need to pick out 2 points on that line that fall on nice grid lines. So these 2 points would be an example in this picture. Then, to find out the slope, we can either count off the change in x plus 1 and the change in y plus 2, and say the slope is the change in y over the change in x equals, in this example, 2 over 1, or just 2. Or, if we don't feel like counting it out, we could instead write down the coordinates of the 2 points and use the slope formula. So the 2 points that I've marked here, this one is x equals 0, y equals 1, and this one is x equals 1, y equals 3. So putting these into the slope formula, we get the slope is this y minus this y over this x minus this x. And so again we get 2 over 1, or 2. Either way, we get the same slope. Which one should you use? Whichever one seems easier for the line you're working with just then. Alright, what about if you're given instead the equation? Now, some of the forms in which we could be given an equation, we can just look and see what the slope is. If our line is in slope-intercept form, or in point-slope form, we can just look and see what the slope is. In either case, the slope is the number that is multiplied by x. Alright, what if we're given an equation in another form? Well, if we're given our equation in any other form, let's say we're given the equation 5x minus 3y equals 2x plus 4. That's not in point-slope or slope-intercept form. In order to find out the slope, we have 2 choices. We can rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form by solving for y, or we could choose numbers to plug in to get 2 points on the line, and then use the slope formula. Okay, let's try this in both ways. Rewriting in slope-intercept form, we'll start by subtracting 5x from both sides. We get negative 3y equals negative 3x plus 4. And then we'll multiply both sides by negative 1/3. On the left, we're just left with y. On the right, we distribute, and we get x plus negative 4/3. What's the slope here? I don't see a coefficient of x, so it must invisibly be 1. My slope is 1. Okay, so that's the first method. The second method better give me the same answer. Let's see, x, y. I'm going to pick values. Looking at the way that my equation is set up, I think I'm going to pick two different values for x. I'm going to pick 0, because that makes all the arithmetic easy. And I'm going to pick 1. So let's see. For x equals 0, I have 5 times 0 minus 3y equals 2 times 0 plus 4. This term is 0, this term is 0. I've got negative 3y equals 4, so y equals negative 4/3. Let's see, and now we're going to plug in x equals 1. We'll have 5 times 1 minus 3y equals 2 times 1 plus 4. So 5 minus 3y equals 2 times 1. That's 2 plus 4 is 6. Subtract 5 on both sides. Negative 3y is 1. So y is negative 1/3. The slope then is the change in y, negative 1/3 minus negative 4/3 over the change in x, 1 minus 0. We can use our calculator for the arithmetic in the numerator if we like, but we end up with 1 over 1 is 1. Again, we find that the slope is just 1. Which method should you use? Again, choose whichever seems easier for the equation that you're faced with at the moment.